When Tim invited me out for this Kansas hunt, I was really excited because I had never been to Kansas before. And although we were hunting in Kansas, it could have very easily been Oklahoma or Nebraska or even western Missouri for that matter, because the wind always seems to blow in these areas.
So, you know, hunting in a place like Kansas, there's not a lot of trees out there in certain areas where there's a lot of that agriculture, and you've got these little fence rows or little blocks, and some of them have good hardwoods, but we found that being adaptable is a lot easier if you use ground blinds. If you do want to go in those woods, you can take a ground blind in there and pop it up, but you can go around anywhere on a field, and it just keeps your options open. That wind out there seems like it's always blowing, but it changes a lot.
That's right on.
You don't have to have 40 setups. You can take that blind around your field, put it this way for this wind and this way for this wind, and you know, now with the way blinds are, you can throw them up in 30 seconds and you're good to go.
When you're hunting a western area like this where the wind's always blowing, especially if you're like me from the upper Midwest, or if you're from the Northeast or even the Southeast, deer behave differently in the West than they do in any other place. What I mean by that is the wind. The wind is constant. Now when we're talking about wind in these other areas, for example in the upper Midwest where I hunt, anything over 10 miles an hour shuts deer activity down. I mean, deer almost go underground when the wind gets that high. In the West, 10-mile wind is nothing. I mean, you're talking about 20, 30-mile-an-hour winds out there, almost constant. And what happens here is deer become so accustomed to the wind and the switching winds is that they just go about their daily activity as if nothing's going on. On the first day of our hunt, we chose to hunt in a pop-up blind at the edge of a field of a wooded area. And although the spot was good, we just weren't seeing any deer there. So thankfully, the outfitter had several options for us to choose from. One of them was a hay bale blind at the edge of a peninsula that was overlooking a large field. It seemed to be a great choice right away because we weren't in the blind for more than 10 minutes and we had deer come out right next to the blind. Afternoon progressed, we saw some more deer come out in the field. We're getting even more excited. Now it's getting towards dusk. A bunch of does came out in the field. I said, this is gonna be pretty good. You know, it's early December, but some of these does still might be entering estrus, and that's exactly what happened. I look up, off in the distance, coming out of the woods, here comes a really nice buck. He enters the field, he scent checks the field, and heads straight for this group of does. What really got me excited about this buck was not so much his size, but the fact that he was still rutting and he was exhibiting those classic behaviors. That one doe was hot. She stopped right up here and urinated. And it's late here in Kansas. These deer are still rutting. It's the first week of December. We had an estrus doe there, a small doe group. This buck came out and he was on her. Wow. Nice buck. Look at that. Wow.
You have to love a rifle. You know, as us bow hunters, you always wait for the best shot, and it's normally that broadside or quartering away shot. With a firearm, it's not as crucial because that bullet has enough punch to get through all that bone. Here, Dan waited. It was a 125-yard shot. He did wait for the perfect broadside shot, took it, hit that deer right in the top of the lungs, dead center in the vital area. That deer fell over, was totally paralyzed and double-lunged. It expired quickly. You could have not made a more humane shot than that. I wish I could have ridiculed him a little bit more in a poor shot, but it was the perfect shot and it put him down.